What's going on, Gemini? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, shares, donations. Your support really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be business, Gemini, and all the ways we can help you make it rain, or something along those lines. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems are feeling lovely. Just good energy all around here, Gemini. Now, with this spread, I'm going to be pulling 10 cards, and I'll be doing clarifications as need be, and of course, a good old surprise card at the end, Gemini, so don't you panic. And in case y'all were curious, I'm using an OG deck. It's Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. And I have a link for this deck and other decks that I like using down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested, Gemini. But let's get into your first card, which is going to be the current situation. So, Higher Self, what's the current situation looking like for Gemini? Let's see what's been cooking up for you in business, Gemini. What's been hot in your realm? Okay. Nice. You got the Two of Discs here, Gemini. And so I feel like with this energy popping up, maybe some of us, we've been in this place of where we're kind of going through some like an adjustment period, or maybe we're kind of putting in some tweaks, or, just kind of like, I feel like let's say, for example, we just started up a business, it's been running good for a couple months, and now we're thinking about like how to expand, let's say if you started like a pet shop, like everything's been running smooth, like fish are really popular, the kittens have been going like crazy, and now we're thinking about maybe we want to incorporate puppies in the mix, maybe however you're working with this energy, Gemini. But I feel like we're in like an adaptable period type of change here. We're trying to make the most of this business, thing that we started up. It could be too, maybe some of us have been thinking about getting an itch to like change positions, maybe like a supervisor position may have opened up, maybe a managerial position, who knows, maybe we're looking for the next one to run the company here, Gemini. Think big. But, I do feel like we're working with the energies, we're adapting. And if not, if we've been feeling like maybe we've been kind of like in a rut, things just been like, you've just kind of been putting this thing on like autopilot, and it's just like, there's no kind of excitement, or, you don't feel like there's any sort of growth or expansion that's coming through from this thing. I say look into that, Gemini. You already got this thing on autopilot here, so maybe you can just like go look out for some other stuff that's working out for you, maybe some like unexplored hobbies, maybe if you wanted to take up like sculpting, maybe if you wanted to do skydiving, maybe you wanted to do deep sea diving, something, get crazy with it, Gemini. Maybe you want to be the next, we're fishing champion. I don't know, you're very active is what I see, and like you have maybe plenty of different things to work out with, Gemini. So I don't say why not, let's see if we can get the most out of this journey here, because when I think about this energy too, this is Jupiter and Capricorn. And with that energy, it's very practical energy, as far as like how they approach, how they may go about the approach. So I feel like, again, like if we got this thing on lock here, where we can kind of explore some other stuff here, I say do that, Gemini. I do feel like that there could be potential for some more, for this thing to like expand, because like, when you acquire more skills doing, whatever you're doing, you can get flexible and, merge the two things together. Let's say if you're trying to think about how to combine like gardening and law, why not? You could do something. It's I don't see, as far to my knowledge, I don't know anybody who's doing that. So why can't you be the next plant lawyer? All right, we're getting ridiculous, Gemini. Well, or we're getting innovative. It depends on your perspective here. So I think I'm gonna leave that there because it's getting kind of now. I could just have fun with this energy all day. But Last little thoughts on this stuff here, Gemini, regardless of what's going on, is that change is definitely something that I do hope that we all kind of have on our brain here. Because where, it's like, it's nice, once you kind of gotten refined the skill up to a point and you feel like it's time to go flex that thing, let's see if we can introduce some kind of freshness here, evolve, in what ways do we think that we can better ourselves, Have you been thinking about picking up like a second language, do you think you want to, let's say you're starting like some kind of trading company, you want to go international, but you don't have the lingual skills yet. Pick some of that stuff up here, like why not? This is the energy, this is the time to just like pursue like whatever it is that you feel like, if we've been putting stuff on the back burner, I mean, why not? If it's going to elevate your growth. And Gemini too, I know I said this is the last thing, but for real, the last thing. When I think about your sign, Gemini is, your energy is very much is just like you can absorb knowledge at like an accelerated rate, just like when you really like find something that's fascinating, you not only can consume the energy, but you process it in a way that it's quick, we can pick stuff up like real fast. I have a Gemini moon here, so it's like Gemini, I feel like tap into that stuff, make the most of that energy. So okay, let's move on to your second card. I tell you, Two of Disc is just a talkative one. Now, a lot of these cards have been just real chatty here as of late, which I'm with. But higher self, what's the second card is going to represent the current challenge, Gemini. Now I'm all over the place. Higher self, what's the current challenge for Gemini? Let's see what are some challenges that may come up with when working with this energy. Let's see what's going on there for you, Gemini. Okay. Interesting. You got the art card here, Gemini. And I feel like with this is Sagittarius's card. And with the art card, this is a card of manifestation. This is a card of, we've been kind of calculating things for a while, and now we're ready to go make that next move, And I feel like maybe for some of us, maybe we've been kind of playing it safe here the last kind of bits, and maybe because when I was talking about that Capricorn energy, I mentioned that practicality, but maybe some of us might benefit from really kind of like thinking outside the box, maybe taking like a bigger risk here. And I don't mean anything that's gonna like put your stability in jeopardy, Gemini, but like a calculated risk, because that's with the art card, this is Sagittarius. I think I mentioned the Sagittarius energy, and it's the direct opposite of you, whereas when I think Gemini is more so kind of like grabbing the, how do I want to put this? Like consuming the knowledge and, grabbing the details and like processing information. Sagittarius is very expansive energy, very philosophical, very big picture type of energy here. But I'm just like, I'm wondering if we can, if it's just like, if we've been thinking like how I was talking about like plant lawyer, I feel like if there's something that we want to do that it may seem like ridiculous on paper, but it's just like, well, how do we make that make sense? That's the beauty of a dream. It has to start somewhere, but then you can get this thing, because you could be someone who, maybe you're the lawyer who plants. Maybe you host your meetings in the garden. Something cool like that, Gemini. Get kind of crazy with it. Because I think that maybe we're in this place of just like where we have been. We've just been riding that comfort zone, and where sure it's good to feel comfortable, but risk it adds excitement to it, because now it's just like, well, yeah, what if I do this thing? What if I do go for that? Why not do this one thing? Why can't I be the juggling geologist? You know what I mean? Or the fencing archer? Or I don't know, Gemini. Like we can play this game this whole reading. You know what? We just might, because I just like, I think that would really kind of benefit you. And then I would think too, the way, again, how you consume energy, Gemini, because your ruler is Mercury here. And just like, I'm thinking just like all of how intellectual you are, being an air sign, all of that stuff. Air signs take their ideas and you bring them down to the world here. We breathe. And two, allow your brain to just like run free. I feel like you can't contain the wind. When we try to trap it, we're limiting this thing. But if we just kind of let the wind blow and do its thing here, beautiful stuff here happens, Gemini. And then you got the perks of being a dual sign. You can see things from a bunch of different perspectives. Gemini, I can boost your ego up all day. You know, how long do you want to do this thing? Because hopefully you want to do it for the extension of your journey, because I am with it. But I do at one point want to see us, you know, acting on that stuff here. So, you know, it's one thing to hear that you have all this potential and that you can do all this stuff with your skills, but I think it's like one of those things you need to see it to believe it. So go show yourself that you can do this stuff, because again, why not, you know? I feel like we get to this, you know, where we really are in an era of just like, you know, there is no limit. You know, I was going to say the sky's the limit. There is no limit. The limit is whatever you want it to be. If you need a ceiling to start with, make a ceiling. But eventually, we're going to bust through that ceiling, and then we're going to shoot for the moon, and then we're going to go higher, and then we're going to shoot for the sun, and then, you know, Gemini, just expansive. So, I think I'll leave that there. Let's get to your third card, which is going to be where to find some help. So higher self, where can Gemini find some help with this energy, or maybe find some assistance working with this energy? Let's see what's going on there for you, Gemini. Okay. Gemini, you got your ruler here. You got the Magician, or the Magus in this deck. And Gemini, I really feel like you're going to find help. I think it's going to be one of those things that, again, it's like, I can tell you how great you are. Your friends can tell you how great you are. Your potential, your family, you know, like people can tell you how awesome you are. Or really, not even awesome, more than that. How amazing, fantastic you are. But it's going to be one of those things, again, that if we don't act upon the skills that we have here, then they're just words then, you know. Then when things aren't manifesting, then we think that we can't get due to the stuff here. Then we become this monkey over here, which this monkey is supposed to kind of represent criticisms, you know, that maybe we might tell ourselves, or that you know, the outside might tell ourselves oh, well, that's silly to manifest. Why would you want to be the next, I don't know, start the next cat ranch, you know, for rescue kittens or something along those lines. But Gemini, again, I really feel like the mantra, at least so far, is going to be why not? Because the Magus here is not worried about what anybody's thinking. They're just having fun in creating, you know. It's just like the fact that someone, they just did one day, they were just boom, oh, I can create this thing. I can be the next, Gemini, I'm gonna come up with another one. Dancing judge, you know, I can do that, and then you do another thing, you know. Gemini, we can have so much fun with this, and I think that really, and you know what, maybe too, you know, if we want this energy to kind of be, you know, embodied like a person, you know, I feel like find someone who allows themselves to just kind of be free, you know. Maybe find yourself maybe someone who's in a creative space, you know. If we work more in kind of a business aspect, and we want to breathe something creative into this thing, you know, maybe partner with someone like that, see where the magic can work with. Or even vice versa, you know, maybe we're in a creative space, but we want to do something, add something a little more kind of structure to it, you know. Or maybe maybe try to find a way to get our yoga practice into the accounting building, you know. Whatever, Gemini, maybe are we balancing checkbooks and doing yoga? Why not? Again, Gemini, we're about to crank. Because really, I do feel like that there is something that's manifesting, you know. I really feel like it's just one of those things. Your energy right now just feels like it's time to be playful, you know. It's time to really just kind of just journey outside of the box and just kind of just run wild with this thing, because this is tight here, Gemini. Now let's get to your fourth card, which is going to be some long-term gains. So higher self, what's some long-term gains that Gemini can get from manifesting all that they want to here? Let's see what you got for it to look for in the future, Gemini. Yeah. Okay. Look at you. You got the Prince of Wands here, and I'm with that, because the Prince of Wands, you know, he's the type that, sure, you know, when we first came up with this idea, it was just like oh, well, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to fake it till I make it. And that's what he's about. It may be his first time riding a chariot. He's still trying to figure out how to, lace this around his hand, how to secure this lion safely here. Why we have a lion dragging a chariot. We're trying something different because what we've been saying, what's the mantra, Gemini? Why not? And then we got our lovely staff here. He wanted to go for a sharp image. We're going for just like Gemini. My whole thing is that if maybe some of us, we might be kind of worried about, well, what if I don't have the skills for this thing? What if I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Gemini, we all had to start somewhere. Everyone has been a beginner at some point in time. You can either stay in that place of, well, I don't have the skills, but keep wondering what if I can't do this thing, what if I fail, blah blah blah. Well, Gemini, what if it goes right? What if you turn out to be a natural at it? What if you do become a trailblazer, an innovator, a trendsetter? Why not? I'm gonna get a shirt that says that, Gemini. Now, maybe you want to be maybe you want to be an herbologist who sells T-shirts. Come on, Gemini. We're just throwing gold at you here. Okay. Let's get to your next card here. It's I think I got everything I want out of that one. Let's get to your fifth card, which is going to be some short-term gains, because I get where it's okay, that's in the we got a while before maybe we're getting to that future. We want to get some immediate gains here. Well, I got you, Gemini. They're a coming. Ask, see what happens. You ask, and then ye shall receive. We're manifesting it. So higher self, what are some short-term gains that are coming up for Gemini here? Let's see what you got to look forward to here soon. Because we like soon stuff here. Ooh, okay. Oh, I'm about to go in. We're about to go in. Because the Princess of Disc. Girl, let me tell you about the Princess of Disc. Because you want to know why she's so excited? Because someone told her that she can manifest whatever she wants and that she can think big with it. And bet she brought all of her tools here, because the Princess of Disc is just she's full. She's pregnant with life here. This is granted, this is one of my fertility cards too here. So Gemini, if we're kind of focusing more on our business right now, we're not looking for babies, let's be mindful. But and on a different aspect of it, this is her metaphorical baby. And this is whatever her dream that she's been ready to cook up here. She's about to turn this grove right behind her into just something just extraordinary. And she's taking all of her energy here and she's feeding that into the scepter here, and this ground is lit because her ideas are lit, because she's not afraid of well, what if something fails, what if something blah blah blah. Well, if it's going to fail if she doesn't do anything. She's just going to be sitting with all this energy here, and it's just going to it's really, and Gemini, I know how this is going to sound, but really it's a disservice to the rest of the soul tribe here, because you have such greatness that you want to bring here. You're creating a forest. Maybe you want to create a forest, Gemini, and you want to have, I don't know, wind chimes hanging from it, the musical forest. Gemini. I really, in Gemini, I really feel like you would impress yourself with whatever it is that you're trying to conjure up here. Whatever it is, this dream, this thing that you haven't been tapped into. Because you're getting a lot of dope stuff here. And maybe too, if this is something again, that we're not sure, how we're gonna tackle this by ourselves. You got some court cards here. The court cards can represent some people. Maybe find some people to again collaborate with. To help get this stuff off the ground. Maybe we look for a mentor, oh, Gemini, it's just there's so much that you really can accomplish here, and I just really feel like that there is some greatness that's trying to really break out here. So tap into that when you get a chance here, because really I love when the Princess of Disc comes up, because it means that something, we're about to be just prolific. You're just gonna start just cranking ideas once you let those floodgates kind of open here, and just allow yourself to just really be with that creative energy and just tap into that source there and make the most out of this thing here. Let's get some tea and then let's get into your next card. Which, if you thought the ego boost was going to stop here, Gemini, nope, we're keeping that train going because the next card is going to be your strengths here. So, higher self, what are some strengths that Gemini is working with at this time? Let's see what's going on there for you. Yeah, because I like where this is going so far, Gemini. This is solid. Let's see what strengths you're bringing to the table here. Nice. You got the 3 of disc here. And you know what? I like that because you're willing to put in the work for it, you know? And really, when you think about it too, I wouldn't even think about it as work because if this is something that you like doing here, that you really love, you know, that's been like, maybe it's just something's been like, you know, your inner child's been just like, yes, Gemini, we're doing this thing. This ain't gonna feel like work. It might be an adjustment. You know, maybe that's something too, you know, maybe change what we're calling this thing. You know, this is not work. This is like your studies right now. This is like your project, you know, this is your baby. You know, this is something that we're trying to manifest here. And you know, Gemini, I really do feel like you have like the perseverance for it here, you know, the drive here, because this is Mars and Capricorn here, and if I'm not mistaken, I have to double check on that, but I want to say Mars is exalted in Capricorn here. So I feel like this is really kind of emphasizing that that whatever it is that you're trying to do, you can do that thing. You know, you can make this exceptional dream just really kind of sprout from the ground here. It's just taking action and then keep it going, you know, really fueling that thing, you know, having that hunger for it, that passion. Because you know, when we're doing things that are just like, when we're kind of just like sort of like really, again, just sort of like on autopilot, or, you know, we're just sort of like, you know, we got in this thing where we're just kind of pouring in the bare minimum, or it doesn't feel like you're just kind of doing this thing because you have to, not because you want to. You know, I feel like maybe we also need to start doing some stuff that we want to do. You know, maybe too, you know, the strength, sure, that you can do a lot of work and that you can power through stuff here, but, you know, is this work satisfying you? Like, is this enough? And if the answer is no, Gemini, I say look into that, you know. And again, and keep in mind, this is not me telling you to, like, you know, quit your job. Don't go there telling, you know, that Justin said that I had 3 of disc too much, so bye, you know, because we Gemini, we gotta have each other's back here. but I will say that, you know, I think that, again, if that's something that even like kind of spoke to you a little bit, look into that. You know, I think that that's a rabbit hole worth kind of venturing down, you know, to see what it is that can really help Gemini live to their fullest, you know, and to really enjoy this journey here, because it doesn't have to be, we can achieve stability and happiness in tandem. You know, I don't see why you have to sacrifice one for the other. You know, there's stability in your happiness here. You know what I mean? And happiness in your stability. It's the start of this energy here. It's the yin and the yang here. But it's I feel like finding that balance. You know, maybe some of us, you know, when I like talking about this card here, I know we're going to go back a little bit. You know, I think about Capricorn. They're usually the type that put in, they're as much as I love their drive, they will work themselves to the ground. And it's sometimes where I feel like, you know, we can have our fun and our fortune here too. And look at that, Queen's gonna clarify, ain't that right, babe? Look at that, we can have our thank you, sweetness. We can have our oh no, what was I trying to say? Like maybe she's telling me to move on. But I hope you get what I was saying. You know, I just feel like, you know, maybe it's like it's us finding that balance as well between, you know, our stability and our happiness, you know, because I feel like we don't have to sacrifice one for the other here. So let's get to your 7th card here, which is going to be, oh, what's going on, babe? Here, come here, baby. You know, this is, see, Gemini, Queen thinks you're working too hard. And so she wants you to kick back, relax, and enjoy. Ain't that right, sweetness? Let's get to your 7th card here, which is going to be, all right, see ya, which is going to be some weaknesses. I was like, what are we doing now? So higher self, what are some weaknesses that Gemini might be working with? Let's see, what are some things that might be getting in the way of, or some strengths that are waiting to be discovered and refined here. Let's see what's going on there for you, Gemini. Love it. You know what? You got the star card here. And you know what? I like that because I feel like a weakness right now is that we don't see our potential. But you know what? Now we do. Now we got eyes on it. And if you don't, take a good look at that, Gemini, because this is what you can start doing. You can start manifesting your world. You can have gems falling out of your pockets here. You know, whatever it is that you want, you can manifest. And this is another thing too, you know, when I had mentioned, you know, maybe some of us may be seeking out like a mentor or something like that. That could be something that could be in the works here, because the star card can also represent unexpected help, you know, maybe coming in from wherever, Gemini. So that this is something I do. I feel like, you know, don't sell yourself short, you know. Understand that you do have a lot to bring to the table here, and it's only going to be it's only going to be a matter of time before the cat comes around again, and that we're doing our best work here. Sweetness, I love you. Let's get you up here, baby. Hold on, Gemini. Okay. Had to get her on her window perch there. Okay, so your star, Gemini. I think that's the last thing I'm gonna leave on there. Let's get to your 8th card, which is going to be what to focus on in the present. So higher self. What is it that Gemini should focus on in the present moment? Let's see. Let's see what are some things that we can. What are some things we can kind of get eyes on? Okay. Interesting. You got the moon here, Gemini. And I think some things to focus on right now is what misconceptions, you know, what illusions, what maybe false things that we may be telling ourselves, you know. Are we saying that we couldn't possibly achieve X? And then if you are, I would sit down and say, well, what is preventing you from achieving that thing? If this is what's really speaking to you, why is that? Why can't you get your happiness? What is getting in the way of that? And then list that stuff down, Gemini, and, you know, deal with it. And if this is something that maybe it's kind of hits like a sore spot, you know, don't force it, Gemini. You know, if we have like a reaction to that, put it down, you know, put it away. At least we got eyes on it. And then when we want to circle back to this thing again, you know, we can maybe come at it from we could just come at it from another direction, or, you know, maybe it won't hit as hard. But I feel like right now, you know, maybe some of us are thinking that we're afraid to maybe pass through this gate here. You know, we're looking at this as new opportunities, as like these jackals here, which we may think like, oh, the second I try to go through this gate, they're going to try to attack us here. They're going to sick their little mini jackals on us, and then we'll never get to our moon here. But, you know, maybe look at it from a different perspective. Maybe these are the gatekeepers. Maybe they've been welcoming. They've been waiting for you. They've been keeping people out so that you can get to your moon here, or, you know, get to your dream here, Gemini. It's just when are you ready to cross that gate? They're not standing in your way. They're just chilling, if anything. So you know, I feel like, you know, if we've been saying that we can't make that leap, you know, keep in mind too, this might sound like a weird analogy, but, you know, this scarab beetle down here, think of that as you. You know, we might be feeling less than, but keep in mind that scarab is carrying the sun. That's their happiness. That's the potential that they're carrying here, and they're going to take that to the moon, and then their dreams are going to be reflected into their world here, Gemini. Because that's the thing too. The moon reflects the sun. It's reflecting is going to take your inner desires there, and it's going to manifest that in front of the dreams. It's just we have to have the courage to rise up and take that thing, and to realize that we can manifest whatever we want, Gemini. And however, you know, we just got to figure out how we do it. So just something to think about. Let's get to your 9th card, which is going to be what to focus on in the future. So higher self, what are some things that Gemini can focus on in the future? Let's see what's going on there for you, Gemini. Okay, thanks. I dig it. You got the 4 of disc here. And with the 4 of disc, you know, I feel like right now, or sorry, in the future, we already talked about right now. In the future, I feel like, you know, your stability, you know, because maybe some of us are worried, again, when I was talking about maybe it's like we're worried that it's this dream feels unstable, or how are we going to keep this thing grounded, or whatever, you know, how do we become maybe even the best in this thing, or, you know, get to this goal. I feel like Gemini is going to be something that's going to, I feel like we might even be so focused on the what. I feel like maybe the idea of the bigger picture right now is what's keeping you from taking the steps in the present. You know what I mean? I feel like it's one of those things, like maybe get like a vision board possibly. You know, put this thing up on the wall so that you don't lose track of your goal, because maybe it's like all of the details of it is just like overwhelming you, and it might be that we just like, okay, let's put this thing down. What makes sense to tackle first? You know, I feel like it's like all the answers are pretty much in front of you here. It's just like we just need to get to this place of organizing this stuff here, because, you know, sometimes when I think about Gemini energy too, you know, it could be the fact that, you know, that so much information is being processed at once, you know, that it can lead to almost like, not necessarily being like scatterbrain, but it's just like it's a lot that's just floating around at once, and, you know, the mind is just trying to work through all of that. And I really feel like it would maybe benefit a lot of you, you know, if this is resonating with you, to write that stuff down, you know, to just to have like markers, you know what I mean? It doesn't even have to make sense right now, but just so that there's some sort of order, you know, make it make sense for you, and then give yourself like little things to pull off on. Okay, it's like, what am I focusing on today? Okay, this, let's expand on that. Okay, dope. And then let's get this thing here, and then, you know, maybe these two will meet in the middle, and then a new thing will form here that we can tackle this thing here, and it's just a look at that magic that's happening. You know, you see what I mean? It's you know, I feel like it's right now, let's just get to doing it. Let's just get to our idea that we can do this thing first, and I feel like all of this stuff is going to fall into place where you feel like you have some kind of control over this thing. So let's get to your last card, which is going to be some advice, or some opportunities. So higher self, what are some opportunities that are coming in for Gemini? You know, we've gotten a game plan. You know, we're feeling good about this thing. Let's see what's coming up for you. Nice. Let's switch back over. That got me geeked up, Gemini, because now we're taking action. That's what the Two of Wands is about here. This is Mars and Aries here. You know, Mars is at home, so now it's time to get going. That thing and go manifest, because, you know, this is a card of, you know, like really, this is the purest form of fire here. And when I think of fire, you know, that's that inspiration, that's that spark, that's that drive. It's just like your star is lit. Now it's just like, oh, now I get it. Now I know what I can bring. And then, you know, the star, you know, eventually is going to become that sun, Gemini, and then you're going to be radiating all this. Oh, Gemini. I'm gonna leave that there, otherwise I'm just gonna keep shaking cards at you. But hopefully that last little bit made sense. It's time to realize that potential, Gemini, and just go out there and get that thing. So I'm gonna leave that there. So hopefully you enjoyed that. We even got some surprise. You know, I feel like you got confirmations from Queen. I feel like that is a good sign to get things moving. So if you like that, give it a thumbs up, Gemini. Share this thing, Gemini. If we know that you got some Gemini friends that have got some stuff that they want to get cooking, or need a kick in the pants, then let's go. Let's get them out there manifesting. Get them out there doing that. Whew, that good work. Subscribe, hit that bell button. You'll get notified when I release videos each week. I'm getting better at being all up on Facebook. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your chart, or maybe you're working with a Cancer, check out my other channel, The Cherryden Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss, we definitely talk about some lunar shenanigans. And all of that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card so I can get you out of here, Gemini. Because check this out. You got the Tower, Gemini. Oh, I just got chills. It's out with the old, in with the new, Gemini. It's time to usher in a new age. And I know that may sound over dramatic, but what's been the mantra? Why can't it be over dramatic? Why not? because Gemini, this is you. You're realizing that. I feel like you're this eye here, this eye of Shiva. You're seeing this that there's potential from here. That once we make space for newness here, boom, it's going to be explosive. More Mars energy. Take that action, Gemini. I mean, let's go out there. And Gemini, I know that this can come across as a lot. So let me say this too. It's like, you know, because sometimes maybe I feel like maybe it's just like, well, Justin, you got me feeling like I got to change the world. Like, what do I got to change the world? It's just like, that's not necessarily what I'm saying. If your dream is to change the world, I say do it. You know, if you're trying to raise that vibration, absolutely. But just whatever your dream looks like for you, it's because if you wanted to start like a mom and pop shop who sells who lets you pet their cat for, you know, cat therapy. I don't know, Gemini, but if that brings you fulfillment, boom, that's explosive too. It doesn't matter what it looks like, just as long as you're happy here. So I think I'm gonna leave that there, Gemini. So stay safe out there with all this crazy energy. And you know what? With this energy though, when you're ready, you raise that vibration to the roof. And I will catch you on the next one. Now I'm all out of sorts. Later.